Peyton, I guess just what's this offseason been like for you? I mean, it seems like almost a deja vu all over again, another year with competition and everything. How are you kind of handling all this?
Yeah, I think just similar to the past, and continuing to work every single day, not comparing myself to anybody else. And I think the biggest thing for me this year is vocal leadership and just accepting that role and pushing guys to get better, pushing those young guys to get better every single day.
Maybe the answer is a little bit there, but how different do you feel from last fall camp, last spring ball? Just like, are there things you're doing every day, I guess, where you just think like, man, a year ago I wasn't able to do this?
I don't think so. I think my mindset's always been there. I think I've always been confident in what I'm capable of doing, and it's the same thing this year. It's just obviously we haven't had a lot of football stuff to this point, but once we get there, it's going to be getting better at the little things, getting timing back, and starting to develop those young guys as it is every single year.
It's the second year they brought in a transfer at that position. What was your reaction initially when they decided to do that, and I guess how does that maybe kind of fuel you guys to kind of compete with each other?
Well, yeah, I mean, we needed it for sure. I mean, if you look at last year, me being the only healthy scholarship quarterback on our roster for the last couple weeks of the year, you need scholarship quarterbacks on the roster to be able to compete in case something like that does happen. So, there's no bad feelings, no bad blood at all that we brought in a new guy because it was much needed, and bringing in new guys always creates competition.
You're just giving us a headline there. Peyton Ramsey hates walk-on quarterbacks. We asked Michael and Coach Allen this too, but I know it's early days with Coach DeBoer, and it sounds like guys feel like it's not a night and day difference, but what do you think are maybe some of the subtle differences, at least, with what you're going to be doing offensively with the new scheme?
Yeah, I think a lot of the difference is obviously verbiage and procedural stuff. A lot more is on the quarterback's shoulders in terms of relaying the play to offensive linemen and checking protections and certain things like that. But it is similar. I think if you look at his offenses from the past, he's done a good job of creating explosives, and that's not necessarily just chucking the ball down the field. It's getting guys open with room to run and getting the ball in our playmakers' hands. He's done a really good job of that. So I think we'll be really good at game plan specific stuff once the season does roll around, because he is so good at getting the guys in our playmakers' hands.
Is terminology a lot different, Peyton?
It is different. Obviously there's only so many words for, code words for right and left, but it's just different in terms of what we've had in the past. And, there are certain words that meant different things that, we're just going to have to adjust to, and that it's already been kind of a steeper learning curve because the words are a little bit different. But, like I said, even though the verbiage is different, a lot of the same concepts apply, which I think we're doing a really good job of, trying to relate back to last year and then tie those two things together.
We asked you about the differences in the offenses between what's coming up this year and what you had last year. What maybe excites you the most about, what you're going to get out of, a Kalen DeBoer offense this fall?
Yeah, so far just meeting with Coach DeBoer, his knowledge of the game and how much he, allows us as quarterbacks to, maybe check at the line, or he gives us a little bit more freedom to do certain things if we see it. So like I said, that'll probably be a little bit more game plan specific, and we won't really have that freedom until, maybe fall camp in August rolls around. But as a quarterback, it's exciting to have, more options and be able to check stuff at the line. So that's kind of exciting to me.
How do you describe the relationship in the quarterback room?
I think we have a really good relationship. As we have my entire tenure here. We all get along. We all ask each other questions. We all just want to make each other better. And I think that's important as a quarterback room where you can learn from each other. And just be there for one another.
You say they're my entire tenure. You've been the young guy in that room for a long time, and even last season, I know that you were kind of the old guy, but still just a redshirt sophomore. I mean, is it kind of weird to think about really kind of basically being in the back half of your college career now?
It is weird. I am starting to feel like the old man because, I am the old man in the room with two freshmen still in there right now. But, with that, I've learned a lot. I've had a lot of different lot of different game experiences. I've had a lot of different practice experience in terms of competition. So I feel like I've learned a lot, and there's a lot of things that I've been able to take with me from year to year. That helped me grow a lot.
What would make this a successful spring for you? What do you need to get out of this personally?
Yeah, I think leadership is one of the big things. Continuing to develop with the young guys. Just the small things. Obviously, not everything has to come together in the spring, especially with a new offense, a new offensive coordinator, learning all that. I think just continuing to develop, get on the same page, and having a good grasp of the offense, so that once we do roll into the summer and it's all player-led stuff, and then once we get into fall camp, that we're all clicking, we're all on the same page.
Are you totally healed up?
Yeah, I am. I feel good. It's been a successful off season, feeling healthy, so I'm ready to roll.
I think this will be your third offense since you've been here. Does having gone through something like this before maybe help you with the transition to something new?
Yeah, I think so. And obviously I never really had, the first offense I learned Coach Wilson's, I never actually had game experience with that. But, just the transition, it was the same thing. There were a lot of similar concepts that I saw the first year with Coach Wilson that carried over to Coach DeBoer, and similar with this. There's only so many plays you can run in football, only so many routes, only so many protections. So it's really just the procedural things, the small little things, how we're supposed to communicate. So it does help. And three offenses in 4 years, it's helped being able to have those transitions.
Kind of on that note about you being the oldest guy in the room now, do you remember think back to your time when Richard was kind of the old guy, you were the young guy, the way he treated you, and you try and kind of adapt that to the way you treat guys now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He was so good to me, and not only him. When I was a freshman, Xander Diamont was here, Danny Cameron, and just the relationship that was in that room. Just the way we got along, the way we talked to each other, the way we treated each other. There's a lot of similarities between that, just with the respect that we have in that room.